It's bad news for the rest of the Premier League as the champions are getting even better. PapaPincus here with FourFourTwo. Let's get into some transfer news. Florian Wirtz to Liverpool for £126 million. That's the equivalent to 500 million Freddos. Yes, £500 million chocolate frogs. But this is the world we live in. This is the type of money you have to pay for a player like Wirtz. If you want a generational talent, if you want someone who can run your midfield for the next decade, thread a pass, score goals, and carry the creative load, you pay the price. And Florian Wirtz is that player. He's not just a rising star. He's already one of the best attacking midfielders on the planet. The big question, where does he play? Personally, I see him operating as an inside left playmaker, drifting in off the wing into those half spaces where he thrives. A bit like how Grealish was at Villa, or even how Coutinho was at Liverpool. And let's remember, he's one of 2 players in Europe's top 5 leagues to get 10 plus goals and 10 plus assists in the past 2 seasons. The other player, Mo Salah. Jesus Christ, they're going to be good. This is the definition of a statement signing. They're going for more and more. They want to do what City did from 2018 to 2024. Yes, 126 million quid is mental. Yes, it's enough to bankrupt a small country. But in football, if you want to compete at the highest level, this is the cost of ambition. 126 million quid, 5-year contract, signing of the summer? Man City have started their rebuild. After a season that fell short of their sky-high standards, the club are wasting 0 time. No sulking, no standing still, they're moving quick. And 3 names are already in the frame. 𝗘𝗫𝗓 and Reijnders, Ait-Nouri and Cherki. With one of, if not the greatest midfielders in Premier League history, Kevin De Bruyne finally calling it a day at City, there's a gaping creative hole to fill. It's the end of an era, and City know they cannot afford to get this next step wrong. Enter Milan's maestro, 𝗘𝗫𝗓 and Reijnders. This guy was a sick joke last season, over 50 appearances in all comps, barely missing a minute. The 26-year-old led all Serie A midfielders in interceptions, chances created, and even chipped in with 15 goals, 2 more than anyone else in his position. Not bad. You don't replace De Bruyne, full stop, but Reijnders brings something else. He's not flashy, but he's sharp, reliable, and does the dirty work without fuss. The kind of player that keeps the midfield running without needing the spotlight. 46.5 million quid, 5-year contract. What a signing. And as if that wasn't enough, quietly one of the most underrated fullbacks in the league, Ryan Ait-Nouri, has officially put pen to paper. The Algerian gives City a whole new dynamic on that left side. Over 130 Premier League appearances at just 24, he's ready for the next level. Aggressive, technical, and fearless going forward. The thing is, City haven't really had an out-and-out left-back since probably Kolarov. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. Zinchenko was a midfielder turned left-back. Cancelo was more of a hybrid. Ake and Gvardiol were centre-backs playing out wide. Ait-Nouri could well be the one to finally cement that spot and bring proper balance to City's back line. And the third name? The boy wonder, Cherki. Now this one's a wild card, but a classic City move. High ceiling, disgusting amounts of flair. And now Pep's got his hands on him, it could be very, very dangerous. We all saw his debut goal against Spain the other week, and if you didn't, go back and watch it. It even brought my nan to tears. The kid's been on radars for years, but attitude and consistency has been the question. 21 years old and already racked up over 200 games for Lyon. The raw talent is there. 2-footed, press resistant, can play through the middle or out wide. If there's a club that can refine him, it's Manchester City. And if it clicks, big if. But if it does, they've got a serious weapon on their hands. And if FIFA career mode's taught me anything about him, it's going to be a long day for everyone else. 29.5 million quid, 5-year contract, very exciting stuff. All right, enough City talk, let's shift over to Germany, and this one just feels like a story waiting to be written. Jude Bellingham is heading to Borussia Dortmund following the path blazed by his older brother. Unsurprisingly, many people have jumped on Jude for saying he doesn't want to be known as Jude's little brother, whilst literally retracing his path. But let's have it right. It worked out pretty decent for Jude, didn't it? Jude's 19, trying to build his own name, and what better place to do it than the club that helped turn his brother into a global phenom. Dortmund isn't just a stepping stone, it's a launch pad. They know how to develop young talent, give them proper minutes, and shape them into players built for the highest level. And Jobe's got the tools, mature beyond his years, physical, versatile, and now he's got the stage. It's not about living up to Jude, it's about writing his own story. And this move is the perfect next chapter. 28 million quid, Dortmund's second most expensive signing. Sunderland, retire that shirt. Now let's pivot to North London, where the Arsenal, after another season of almost, but not quite, are finally pulling the trigger on a move that's been bubbling under for quite a while. Martin Zubimendi is on his way to N5. It's no secret Mikel Arteta has been a long-time admirer. And with Jorginho gone and Partey nearing the end of his time in red and white, they're finally ready to bring in their guy. And what a guy he is. Zubimendi isn't loud. He doesn't rack up TikTok compilations with rainbow flicks or 25-yard screamers. But make no mistake, the geezer has the ability to revolutionise this Arsenal midfield. He'll break the lines. He'll fly forward with that ball. He'll pick out that pass. Press resistant, always scanning. Top 5 in La Liga last season for tackles and ball recoveries. Arteta's got his midfield anchor for the next 5 years. €60 million release clause, huge for Arsenal. Let's pan away from the done deals for a moment though and hit you with some juicy rumours that are heating up. While the ink dries on official contracts, behind the scenes, agents are whispering and phones are buzzing. First up, Jack Grealish to Bayer Leverkusen. I don't mind it at all. Look, if we're being honest, life at Man City for Grealish hasn't exactly gone to plan. He's had his moments, but he hasn't been the main man. That trademark swagger, the take-ons, the creativity, it's all felt a bit caged in Pep's micromanaged system. Germany has quietly become the rehab centre for out-of-form superstars. Less of the tabloid chaos, more focus on football, a system that gives technical players room to breathe. For me, Grealish just needs to rediscover joy in the game. With Wirtz on his way to Liverpool, this could be the perfect replacement. A move to Leverkusen could be the perfect reset he so desperately needs. Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United. I think this would be a way better move for United than it would be for Mbeumo himself. He ticks all their boxes. Undeniable output, immensely consistent, Prem proven, everything United have been crying out for years. Valued at around 60 million quid, the Cameroonian seemingly has two options, United or Spurs. And as G-Nev once famously said, it's like having a choice of two blokes to nick your wife. Which actually brings us on to Tottenham. With the new man Thomas Frank now taking the reins, you'd imagine he'll be eyeing up some familiar faces. And Mbeumo is right at the top of that list. Frank knows exactly how to get the best out of him, having basically built Brentford's entire attacking identity around him. But Spurs' problems are quite literally all over the gaff. If they can't get hold of Mbeumo, Antoine Semenyo seems to be the plan B, which I must say could be a very astute incoming. I think that's what Spurs need, not just up top, but all over the pitch. Players with zero fear, that play football like they're on a playground. For me, Semenyo is the epitome of that. I think Spurs will be one of, if not the busiest clubs this summer. Remember, Frank's inheriting a squad built for two different manager styles. Ange and Conte have both left fingerprints. Now he's got to strip the thing back and make it his own fast. Keep an eye out for them. Lastly, Barcelona are getting a little bit busy early on, and Luis Diaz seems to be the name ringing around Catalonia. The Colombian stated recently, and I quote, "I'm very happy at Liverpool. They've treated me well since the first day. We're talking with other clubs. It's the transfer window. It's normal. If Liverpool renews my contract, or if I have to stay the 2 years I have left, I'll be happy. It's up to them." Can't quite work out if he's hinting he wants to stay or go, but Diaz and Barca sounds like a match made in heaven. Electric winger, South American flair, a style of play that screams Camp Nou. Reports suggest Liverpool are adamant he'll be staying, but as we know, money talks all languages. And Barca's financial situation's improved massively. They've now got a spending cap of €463 million. They finally have some room to operate in the market again. They can buy strategically, and someone of Diaz's calibre is exactly the sort of statement signing that could kick off a new project. And that's it from me. See you next week.